Kamal, actually, I joined sometime. I mean, I started following this session sometime recently. Do we have any past recording? I mean, last 2 weeks have been wonderful. I've been part of this group for a long time, but I did not join the Zoom meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Have any past recordings or any videos as such, or have you? I think we have a YouTube channel, but I'm not sure if we have past videos in it. Do we have it?
Yep, we have recordings of almost all the sessions, except couple of the sessions in between. Right from the time that we have started having sessions, we do have the recordings and uploaded on the YouTube channels.
Oh, okay, okay. I'll go through it. I'm a newbie anyway. Some of the things that make sense. Sometimes I don't understand anything what you guys are talking. But still, I'll go through it. And Vivek, sir, you're awesome. I
Thank you.
really
Thank you,
enjoyed
Jerry.
last week's session.
Thank you, Jerry. It
Yeah,
just came with experience.
Yeah, true.
yeah, he's
Very expensive experience.
but your experience and teachings has been really wonderful. You are now like a mentor for all of us in this
Oh,
group.
come off it, come off it. Just sharing my experience. I don't want you to guys to lose the way I did it. I learned it the hard way through.
I had a question around stocks. So I don't know if this has been discussed earlier, and Vivek, maybe you can help us answer this. More often than not, we are seeing that companies like Apple, Tesla are actually splitting their shares. And it kind of seems like a purposeful move because they have reached a point wherein small retail investors cannot get in, and a $400 share gets split into 4 shares of $100 each, which people can buy in fractional amounts now. Do you think there is any problems with this particular strategy with the SEC or with any kind of with any government organizations, because it seems to pseudo inflate the shares over a period of time? Every $100 share that gets created will ultimately get pumped up to a $150 to $200 value. So my first question is, do you see any regulatory concerns with that? And two, do you see the intrinsic value not being reached and this creating a bubble which might burst somewhere in the future?
If you're talking about splits alone, a
Yep.
split is basically given primarily to infuse in liquidity of the market, to make it more accessible for the public at large or retail investors at large to dabble in those shares. That is why the split is normally done, or the face value is decreased. If you split uh, an Apple share into four, so instead of a $500 a share, it becomes about $125 a share, which makes it more lucrative for a retail buyer to venture in. As you just said, it becomes difficult to buy a $500 script, one script, but it's easier to buy one script of 125. So you're getting in more liquidity into your script by splitting it. The general public would take more interest in your share.
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea of reducing the taking a split in the share. So automatically on the split date, if you look at the day after the record date, Apple currently ruling at $500 would then immediately rule at about at 115 or 125 once the split is done,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then from there it will either dip or move depending upon the strength of the script. The share, the company hasn't lost anything or any strength in the way it's functioning. All it's done is it is tried to bring in more retail investors or retail traders to be interested in dealing in their shares.
Right. So again, I mean, when I look at splitting of these shares, it's more like
Yeah.
a move, as you said, to introduce liquidity in the market to allow smaller investors to come in now and
True.
and invest in that. With smaller investors coming in, you definitely saw what happened in March. There was a small dip,
Absolutely.
but then we've seen the news rounds. Many of the large institutional investors were sitting on the sidelines, and many of the smaller
Hmm.
investors jumped in, took advantage of it, and made a U curve, a V curve. Right? It was a straight
Hmm.
up recovery that we saw from March up till now. That kind of brings me to the conclusion that with the splitting of the shares and many people kind of risk averse and sticking to large cap stocks like Apple and Tesla, it would further pump up the value of these split up shares. Like each $100 share might grow up to like 200, not exactly 200, maybe at least $150 value to start with. And so you would end up making profits in the interim. At least people who are at least people who have those $400 shares will end up making some kind of a profit when the split happens, because more people will jump into the market. Now with that, so I agree, and that's where it's pumping the value to a certain extent right now itself, because people are rushing to buy that split and that whole stock, so that when it splits, it might pump up the value in anticipation. But do you see the intrinsic value of Apple matching that $500 value, or the $600 value that it may end up creating? So as a company, I want to understand if it's really valuable. Apple as a company would continue to host that particular $500 value or $600 value in the long term, or would we see the next downturn coming and then the value crashing it again down to its actual value? At this point in time, personally, if I look at it, I feel it's pumped up by retail investors.
Absolutely.
And with the split happening, it will just inflate the bubble even more. But with the actual value of the company vis-a-vis what the stock is showing me, do the two meet at par or not? That's what I'm looking at.
So finally, what happens is, if you ask my personal opinion, I do not like splits happening at all, because a split, as you yourself have said, and I completely endorse that also, is a bubble waiting to be burst. What happens is, when you have a split taking place, a retailer thinks this valuation is now worth it, I can afford to buy the share. Right? He feels it is a psychological thing in his mind that now I have the ability to buy an Apple stock, which I was not able to buy at $500. At $125, I think I am in a position to buy it. And the retail always enters near the peak. So the retail will enter at about 115 or 125, take it to about 150. But that's what the big guys are waiting for. The big guys will then start dumping it. If currently a retailer is buying it at 500, there is some big guy who is selling it also at 500. And that is the guy who is with the deep pockets, who bought it at about 400 or less, or even at 300, and he's now getting rid of his shares. Because he knows he will get a dip, and in the near future, stock market being cyclic, it will give you a dip. And when he gets it at a dip, he will again buy it back. Because the company has not changed its fundamentals or its value which it has. So he will wait for the dip to come down, possibly around 370 or 360, and then buy it again. So 360 divided by 4 would make it about 90.
So you see the intrinsic value at around $90 per share with the split value.
Yeah, I'm seeing this chart currently, and I would say 90.
Okay.
I would say 90. I even last time when we were discussing last week, I openly talked about Tesla being a bubble. I think Tesla is nothing but a bubble. Your dot-coms were a bubble in 2000. Then you had the other technology companies coming in. So Tesla is a pure bubble for me. It's not a product that I would like to dwell in it further. But that's my personal opinion. And same goes for anybody, any stock splitting. The stock split is primarily to invite retail traders to start investing in their company. I look at it that way. The intrinsic value, the share market will find the intrinsic value and bring it down to that chart, if not now, within the next 3 or 4 weeks. Yes, people would buy it now, and they will not get a chance to liquidate at its peak, because your greed would come into picture. Like it will go higher, it will go higher, it will go higher. That's why we always talk about those who are traders for long term will say, I will exit my trade at a particular percentage of profit. That's it. After that, I'm not bothered whether the script could go another 10x times more. I've taken my 20% or 15%. I am more than happy. I leave the balance of the cake for the other trader to pick it up. You have taken your cheese and your cake and you moved out.
So Vivek, I've just got one question. Say, suppose I've got a few shares of Apple. Okay, say I bought it at say it at 450 and now it's at 500. So would it be a best option to sell them before the split or immediately after the split? What do you suggest?
If you bought it at 450 at 500, you're making a 50%, $50 benefit. So you're already making a 10% profit margin.
Yeah.
Now, when did you buy it at what date was that?
I would say last week I bought it. Then it was to be precise, it was at 454 something.
But what date?
So it would be around 12th.
Approximate date.
It would be around 12th.
So that means you are taking over 10 days,
Yeah.
a week or 10 days.
Yeah.
Why do you want to hold this stock any further? Is $50 not worth it? Take your money off. I would say take your money off.
Makes sense.
Because tomorrow, when the record date is reached and you get, instead of your 4, you get 16 shares, but the script falls to 110, what will you do?
And then the market falls as well, then we're in much more worse situation.
Absolutely. So might as well, I always believe in one thing. If I have a 10% profit in my trade or a 15%, whatever I decide before entering the trade, I decide my profit before entering the trade. That's called the reward. And I decide how much can I willing to risk at it. Now, if you look at Apple, which Kamal has just showed it to us, where is Apple currently moving at? It has touched the upper Bollinger Band, taken a dip, and again going back. So now 500 is the upper Bollinger Band limit, right? Whereas you look at the RSI and the Williams R. RSI is already at 67 and Williams R is at minus 20. A correction is due anytime. Though there are exceptional volumes, if you look at it, the volumes are suddenly spotted up. In the last, there is 5. I would come out of it and ask him to take a rebirth and come back.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, thanks.
Why don't you take it to? That will give you better idea on volumes. Half-a-day chart, 4-hour chart. Otherwise, Kamal, take it on. Renko will not help you. Anyway, anything else?
So is this set up in here?
About 495.
Okay.
5. So that means if you want to take it after your.
I was thinking.
But then keep a record date is announced after the split is done. It will be a gap down.
So it will be a cliff after that.
It will be a straight down to about 125 or 115.
Oh.
Whenever that happens, it will be a straight drop. The day will open only at about 115, 125. So at that point, you'll have to re-rectify your stop loss.
Hey, I have
Can you keep it for a 4-hour duration? Or a 1 day? That gives you the volume. Now you see the volume, the two green bars there in the volume. The volume has suddenly shot up because the retailers are buying it now. You realize this? If retailers are buying in, somebody is offloading it. And where is Williams are at almost minus 17, minus 11, and RSI at 80. There is a correction due any day now. Any day correction is due.
Hey Vivek,
Yeah.
This is Nilesh. I have a question. So record date is tomorrow Monday, and the split date is I guess Friday. So what's going to happen between the Monday and Friday? If let's say if I buy it on the Tuesday, will it be considered for the split or?
I don't think you will get, if the record date is on a Monday. If you buy it on Tuesday, you will not get the benefit.
Okay.
I assume I don't trade in Canadian markets, so I really would not know. There Kamal will be a better judge to answer you there. But if the record date is Monday, Whatever you buy on till Monday will be taken into account. After that, no.
Kamal, do you have any views on this?
So I would look at it that those who are holding it, I would suggest get out at about 505 or 510. Give a limit order at 510 and get out of the stock and buy again at about 115. You would still have made some good profits on it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Kamal.
Oh, okay. So maybe because of network, my audio was not going through. So yeah, I was saying that I agree with Vivek. Since record date is tomorrow, if you have bought Apple shares before or you are planning to buy tomorrow, which we are not recommending at all, then you will be eligible for getting split shares, which they are splitting on Friday, and it would be given to investors or traders who have bought on or before record date.
I mean, Friday, I'm sure the price will open around 115 or 110. It will show a dip and then go up, depending upon that.
Yeah, and they'll split on Friday, and both Tesla and Apple will start trading at split price from Monday.
Oh, Monday, not Friday, that means.
Yeah, Friday they are gonna split after the trading hours. On Friday
After
they will
trading
be,
hours.
yeah, they'll be splitting and would be giving
So
to
this is next week, right?
That means
this is
on the
Upcoming.
30,
yeah. So
that means on
on
31st, you will see the new rates.
that's right.
31st.
Yeah.
Okay.
31st, you will see the new rates.
So what's the entry price again for Apple? Is it 115 or is it 90 that you would suggest? I'm gonna put in a limit order there.
I would suggest put it at 92.
92.
Or
Awesome.
at 92 or 95.
Never a
That
whole
is
number.
380 divided by 4. 380 divided by 4.
Yeah. So
That's
since
95.
right. So taking the price where just before the earnings or on the day of earning would be a good price, as Vivek sir has also mentioned. 380 by 4 would be.
Put your limit buy at 95. With a stop of about 80.
Got it.
Oh,
Got it. Thanks a lot.
356. Welcome.
Yeah. And anything else? We have 5 more minutes.
So, any stocks for this sake that we have in mind, Kamal or Vivek or anyone that we can track or have a look at or can have it on our chart?
Oh, you have to run the screener.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Too many tabs open, Kamal.
Which
Yeah.
is this app?
So this is
This is
TradingView.
TradingView.
TradingView.com.
Okay.
And
Guys, you
last,
can look at TradingView. You can look at investing.com.
right.
Well, next time let's work on investing.com. I'll teach them how to use investing.com on the website itself.
Sure. So next time we'll
Yeah.
do all the analysis on investing.com. So just before I go to this screeners, because we have last 5 minutes and before this call ends, I would like to cover one question which Hassan, I guess, had asked in another group about starting to trade in US market. For those who have already been investing and trading in Canadian market can start trading in US market, but those who haven't started trading or beginning to trade for the first time, I would still say that Canadian market is a good market to begin as a beginner. It's not as volatile as US market. So it's good to learn about trading in Canadian market first, because you can use well simple trade which is commission free. So even if you make few mistakes, you won't lose on the commissions. Whereas if you have gained a little bit of experience with trading in the Canadian market, then you could go to US market, and the suggested platforms for US market would be Questrade or IB, Interactive Broker. With Questrade, you can do trading during the market hours, 9:30 to 4. And also you could do trading on extended sessions. Questrade allows trading between 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 pre-market and from 4 o'clock to 5:30 after market. Interactive Broker, with some premium features, you could have full extended market as well, which starts at 4 a.m. in the morning, and post market it's up to 8 p.m. The difference in both of these platform is in terms of your initial investment. Questrade allows you to invest with $1,000 as the minimum amount, whereas Interactive Broker has higher amount. If I'm not wrong, it's $10,000. The another difference between Questrade and Interactive Broker is Questrade, it doesn't have much fee for inactivity, whereas Interactive Broker has higher fee for inactivity. So it's intended more for traders who are more active doing trading. Maybe in our subsequent sessions where we talk about trading, we can go more in depth. I just try to cover in short so that if someone wants to start looking into US market, they can look at either of these two platforms and see which one suits for them.